Hello, I'm John Bodie from the Office of Learning Skills at Mount Holyoke College. You're going to be watching a session I ran with students on stress reduction. I call it present-day dinosaurs. I hope you enjoy it. Let's talk about stress. What is it that stresses you out?
School, family.
School, family,
External expectations.
external expectations. I'd say sometimes internal expectations too, you know, which might be connected to the external expectations. Yeah. What else?
School,
Tests, performance,
priorities.
priorities, trying to figure out what your priorities are. Yeah. What does it feel like when you get stressed out? What happens?
Your eyes widen.
What? So your eyes widen.
Within that 1 second of,
Yeah. When you say anxiety, what does it feel like? What is it?
Oh, well, it's like a full body kind of.
Full body press. Yeah.
That you throw yourself on.
muscle contractions.
Yeah.
Muscle contractions. Anybody get kind of?
I mean, I
People-
gave myself stress-induced ulcers last year. That was a good time. So, and then I had to it increased my stress because I had to take time off to heal from my stress.
So something happens in the stomach. You kind of get sick. You kind of get.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was more like esophagus.
Yeah.
And then your
Yep.
immune system in general.
Immune
Yeah.
system. Yep.
And then it's just like a circular,
Yep.
everything kind of.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
What happens to your brain? Do you?
Lower mental cognition. I don't remember what it's called.
Lower mental cognition. You have trouble accessing your memory. Have trouble accessing
Yes.
your ability to conceptualize, to think, to yeah.
Panic.
Decreased mental cognition.
Lower cog. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well.
Moodiness.
Yeah. Moody, irritable. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
And you feel like no one can understand. I
Yeah.
don't know what that was, one word for that.
You're alone.
Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
also have like total avoidance issues.
Yep.
That's my
Avoidance. Or, which goes along with avoidance, denial.
Anesthetize.
Yeah.
You definitely go through the stages of
Yeah.
denial.
Yeah. And sometimes just you're totally exhausted.
Yeah.
You haven't done anything, but you're exhausted, right? Just fatigue. Well, this is all having to do with what's called the fight or flight syndrome. Basically, it's getting your body to either fight or flee. And it's really been developed when we were evolving and we just had this reptilian brain. Here's our eyes and our nose and our, right? And we have this reptilian brain here, and there's dinosaurs chasing us. And so it was really functional because it got us to either fight it or flee it. And look at how we've evolved. And basically this reptilian brain communicated a couple of different glands in the body, the adrenal cortex, one of them, and all these chemicals go out into your body. And basically what it was meant to do is get you ready to run or to fight it. So it would cut down the blood in your stomach, right? And the blood in your stomach is really meant to buffer you from the acids. So that's why you get sick in the stomach a lot of times when you're stressed out, because there's not blood in there. And it creates the blood in a way that really pushes sugars into your system. And so you start to tense because you have all this extra energy running through your body. And so that's why you might have taken an hour exam and you feel like you've just ran a marathon, because your muscles are so tense because of the chemicals in your body. Okay? It also sometimes gets up into your throat. Did you ever have that? It shortens your breath. Sometimes with me, I can't talk because I get so stressed out. So that's what really happened back then. Well, now we have our cortex. We're thinking individuals, right? And there's no dinosaurs around here. So why are we still having the fight or flight syndrome all the time? Oh, the professors have become dinosaurs. Ah, okay.
Well, college are less likely to be after you. Where's this paper? Have you come to see
But it's
me yet?
that, like, you were fearful that they
Yeah.
will be,
Yeah.
Yep. So,
even if they never actually.
your cortex is really seeing still a threat. But it's a threat to your ego. It's a threat to who you picture yourself to be. It's not a physical threat like a dinosaur, but it's a threat to who you are as a person. Okay? And perceiving is a really big thing, because some people perceive threats where other people don't. So it's really, a lot of the threat is really perception. And so a lot of people work on how are they perceiving threats? How have they been even taught to perceive threats? Okay? Some people get really stressed out when a professor expects a paper in 2 weeks. Other people don't perceive it as a threat. So it's really perception in terms of what the threat is. Okay? So there's two areas of sort of what's called arousal, of stress, of anxiety. Okay? The first one is what's called trait anxiety. And that's kind of, you know, where you function with your anxiety throughout the day, throughout the week. It's kind of, you know, a base level hum of where you're at. Okay? Some people are really wired all the time. Other people have very low trait anxiety. They walk around like they're from California. Hey dude, everything's fine. Okay? So that's the trait. The other one is state anxiety, which is situational. Okay? And different situations plug people in differently, right? So one person would get plugged in public speaking, another person would be like, I'm fine, you know? But put her in a test and all of a sudden she's having anxiety. So there's really a situational piece to all our individuals too. And it's a cycle, right? You start out at a certain level of your stress and then, oh my God, something's happening, and you notice it, and you notice that you're shutting down, you notice this, and all of a sudden you're up in here and you're tired, you're exhausted, you're having panic attacks or whatever is happening, okay? It's this cycle that goes on. One of the reasons why this cycle happens is because our cortex doesn't think it is part of the stress cycle. It doesn't think it's part of the body, but it really is. So when you start to perceive a threat, that perception in the long run, or even in the short run, it can happen within, you know, a minute or 30 seconds, gets the chemicals in your body, and it can go to your brain because your brain is part of the blood system. And so these chemicals that your adrenal cortex is putting out is going to block your higher level functioning. Okay?